How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to SCC, and this episode is going to cover the wide crankset install. First, I'm going to do the original wide crank install that comes in the motorized bike kits that you can buy on eBay or a plethora of other companies out there. And then I'm going to tear that one out, and I'm going to put in the heavy-duty wide crankset that I use with the sealed bearings, and then go over the install time difference, and also different differences and benefits of going with something a little bit more heavy duty that's going to last you a lot longer and not require any maintenance whatsoever. Stick around to the very end of the video. I'm also going to have previews coming up for my next video coming up next week, and then also I'm going to give you a little bit more insight into the upcoming giveaway, and then also my new channel that I'll be releasing soon. So stick around to the end of the video, and then you can see the preview and everything for the next episode and insights. So I'll get right into it here. I'll start turning this around, or turning this down, and then going over step by step what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and give you a detailed install. So let's get right into it. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take off the chain card, because when I do take the crank out of the frame, the chain guard obviously is going to get in the way, so I'll just take that out first. Really simple, 2 Phillips screws, and then that'll give me a lot more room to play with. Okay, now the next thing you're going to want to do, so the crank is going to come out right through the frame, so you're going to want to take at least one pedal off. That way that's not going to get in the way here. Okay, so the next thing you're going to want to do is take this outside nut off here, and that's going to get us one step closer to being able to take the crank off. There's also going to be a washer on here, so you're just going to want to take the washer off too. Then next in line, you can use a couple different tools. I have a special tool here that should get right in here, and this is going to be the last piece. What this is doing is this nut that I'm taking off now is actually keeping the bearings inside. So we're just taking that off. Then we can take the bearings out, and we can take the crank off. Just kind of work it out. So this is the main shaft that goes through your frame for the wide crank set that comes with the kit. It's just going to be a fairly short axle. You're going to have, it's going to be a little bit different, so you're going to have a little bit of a ridge on this side. Your threads are going to be longer on this side, and there's also going to be a groove in here. So the part with a groove is going to be on the side opposite of where the chain wheel goes. So we're going to put this through here, and then we're going to put our bearings back in here. These are the new bearings, not the ones that came with one piece. And then we're going to screw in our outer bearing cups. So these are going to be tapered. So they're going to hold the bearings in. So you'll put one of these in each. So the outer nuts are in, your main shaft through the frame is being held in right now. And you can turn it. This is a very, very critical part of it. You don't want it too tight to where there's too much resistance on it, but you don't want it too loose to where it's going to be flopping around. If you have any play in there, where it can wiggle around, as soon as you put pressure on there when you pedal, you're going to crush that bearing ring in there, and it's not going to work right. So just kind of play around with it, don't be in a hurry, and make sure you have the perfect balance of being tight but not too tight. Now, next, once you got your balance of that going on, you're going to put your washer on. Your washer, I don't know if you can see, just going to have a little bit of a bump on it. So that's going to go right over the groove on your threads. And then you're going to put your lock nut on over that. Okay, so now you got your other two pieces, your cranks that go on the main shaft. You're obviously going to have your chain wheel, which is going to be pretty thin, about the same size as the one-piece crank that I took off of here. That's obviously going to go on the same side. And then you're going to put the other one on the other side. Obviously you're going to do the opposite. And then you're just going to put the outer nut on there and then put your pedals on there. So that's basically, I'm going to actually use a big end. So I'm going to come through from the opposite side and I'm going to press tight up against that lip. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work my way around. So start out on the top or bottom, and then top, side, and then work your way around. Okay, so one of the main things about that heavy duty kit that I really like is bearings on here. This is a whole bearing. It's called a seal bearing. So everything is in this. So it presses right into the frame. Nice fit, just like the original bearing cups, except there are no other bearings to go on here. Everything is sealed inside, which means you don't have a gap where sand and snow and salt, roadkill, whatever is going to get in there. So it's going to keep it really, really nice and clean and keep everything out of there. Absolutely no maintenance whatsoever. Stake here. So I'll show you the main shaft going through here. You can see a groove here, and then right by the chain wheel you got another groove here. There's an E-clip on here, so instead of having to take all the chain wheel and this crank off, put the chain wheel side of the press and bearing in first. So I switch those around, push it through, super, super tight fits. There's not going to be any play in there whatsoever. And that's going to press tight up against that bearing. And now we got that through, now you can go ahead and put your other bearing in, and now press that in, and then we'll be able to put our E-clip in. Another thing with this one too is the chain wheel. I'll actually pop this back out for it real quick. So the chain wheel, number one, you're going to see it's a lot thicker than the main one that comes with the kits or the one that originally comes on the bike. And it's also going to be a lot smaller. So as far as the thickness though, unfortunately you're not going to be able to use your regular bike chain that comes on there. You are going to have to bump up to a thicker chain. Either a 410 chain I think might work, or a 415 chain just like you use on your drive side for the engine. So we'll go ahead and put this back on here, and then we'll put our other bearing on the other side. Same thing, you just go around here, hold it from the other side so you don't knock that out, and work your way around nice and even. And that's all there is to it. You'll be able to put your clip on here and then put your other crank on here. That's all there is to it. Install is super, super easy. There's no worrying about adjusting or anything like that. The only thing you might have to do is loosen up the Allen screw on here and move this for chain alignment back to your rear sprocket on the pedal side. Other than that, that's all there is to it. So really easy, super simple. And like I said, it's going to outlast pretty much anything else on your bike. Well worth the money in my opinion. Not to mention that is if you do sell your bike, eventually presenting a bike with high-end parts and things that are going to last is going to be a lot better for resale. So it's just like with anything, car or anything else. You put some money into it, you're going to get the money back out some way, somehow. Maybe not what you paid for it, but it's really going to show that there's going to be a lot more quality in that versus just using the kits out of the box or the pieces out of the box. Alright everybody, so hope you enjoyed this video. Preview on the next video, I'm going to have 3 of the top hacks for trying to make the cheap parts work. So some of the common issues over my build experience and riding and everything like that. So the first one is going to be the wide crankset, which we pretty much touched on today, but I'll just touch on again for the life hack for that one. Next thing is, how many of you have had these gas tanks that Peanut takes that come with a kit where the cap leaks? So I'm going to have a little hack for that to solve that and get the most out of that. And then ever so talked about cheap pineapple adapter kits that come with it for the rear drive chain wheel. I'm also going to be covering that. So stick around next week. It's just going to be a quicker video covering these 3 parts. 3 quick things to get the most out of it until get you a little bit more life out of it, a little bit more reliability. And then also, so when I'm doing these builds, I'm going through a whole bunch of different parts. These bikes are going to be better than anything I've built before. I'm going to start getting into some custom parts as far as a custom gas tank made from scratch. Also going to be doing heavier duty wheels, things like that. So needless to say, I'm going to have a lot of parts that are left over. Wheels, cranks, tires, tubes. On this one, Jenna's bike here, as far as the colors of the seat grips, things like that, those are coming off, so those are going to be left over. I get a lot of emails from people, whether it's a teenager building his first motorized bike to get back and forth to his first job, or I've even had an 80-year-old guy in Arizona that can't pass his driver's test anymore because of his vision, so he needs one of these to get around to his doctor's appointment, shopping, things like that. And I hear so many times that people order parts or order kits and they don't get all the parts. They're missing 1 or 2 little things, or maybe they're missing the entire thing, or one of the parts is defective. So one thing I'm going to be doing this time is all the parts that I get that are going to be off these builds that are brand new, is I'm going to help these people out that kind of get the short end of the stick when they order kits, and I'm going to be using the parts that I get off these builds that I'm not going to be using to help those people out. So I have a lot more information on that giveaway coming up. And then also, as far as my next channel, or my new channel that I'm going to be starting here very soon, that kind of aligns with the biking a little bit and actually taking it to a whole nother level, even beyond biking. So kind of a little bit of a promise I made to myself years ago when I was going through a hard time. So that channel is going to tell a little bit more about who I am, what I've been through, and then now that things are going a little bit better, what I'm going to do to kind of help other people out. So stay tuned. Like I said, next week, recapping these 3 parts, how to make them better, and then we'll go from there. So thank you so much. I can't stress enough. Please, if you like these videos, hit that like button, hit that share button, and share with as many people as you can, even if they don't have a motorized bike or don't know what they are. If you have somebody that just rides a regular pedal bike, hey, maybe they want to get into motorized biking. So hit that share button and get this out here as much as possible. I really appreciate it. It enables me to get a lot more of these videos out to you guys. And then also, I don't know what's going on, but I can't reply to all the comments on YouTube. Sometimes it just doesn't allow me to. I don't know what kind of glitch is going on. But you can also reach me at sinistercustomcycles@gmail.com, or you can also find me on Facebook, facebook.com/SCCMN. So hit me up on there, hit the like button. I do a lot of smaller updates that I don't need to do a video for. So if I'm ordering parts or doing a lot of little things along the way where that doesn't warrant making an entire video, that's what the Facebook page is for. So stop by, send me a message, hit the like button. Alright guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.